So I did a quick little sketch of the tablet, and this is kind of what you need to get is if you're doing this for your own custom tablet, you're going to do a little bottom section here for all the speakers and the cord. Basically, you just want to have like the whole bottom section. Otherwise, it's going to be quiet. And then over here, you have the buttons. So you just need to measure off the top and then measure what that gap is going to be. And then obviously the internal dimensions. So you definitely want to be a little over. I would say you want to be like a millimeter, half a millimeter to a millimeter over. You definitely don't want to be too snug because that's a problem. And you don't want to be too much because then you don't want it moving around. But if you get the thickness of it just right, that's kind of the key to this is getting the thickness, and then that thing will press up against it, and it's basically exactly 7 millimeters thick. So I'm done with all the measurements. We are going to go to the front and basically just kind of pick an area up here. This doesn't have to be super precise, but you're going to kind of create this. You're going to create this first. So let's just see. This was definitely what I made first. So yeah, see how I made just like the ring, and then I threw the back on it. So let's do that up here, right? We just do front. We just do something like new body, and it's going to be the face, but it's going to be the back of the face, right? Okay, and then basically all you have to do, click create a sketch, and then so in order to create a sketch on this plane, all we have to do is select that one. So basically that just says that you're creating a sketch on the face, on the front, right? So then up here somewhere, right? You don't want it to be down here. You want it to be up here so you can clearly model it. You can just do this guy, rounded rectangle, right? First, let's find out how big these are. So if I do that, and the radius, it's 3, and then that's 10. So if I go here, and I'm on the front, all I need to do is rounded rectangle, and I can do something like or center. Or actually, let's just draw it up here. Let's just see how it goes. So the interior of it is 170. And then the height is 258, right? And then we said 3. So I just want to check that one more time. $258. That works. So that's basically our tablet. the inside, right? But what I'd like to do is take this guy and put it on here. So we can just do that. But I also want to just kind of like ground it. So from here to there, it knows that's the only thing. So from there, I'll just do something. You can just pick a random number, but that feels good to me, right? That's high enough to where I'm modeling it, and then we'll put it down into the assembly. So we just want to make this thing 15 or 30 millimeters bigger, right? So we'll take this guy, or we'll take, we'll go back to here, rounded rectangle, and we'll do center from this point, and basically just add 30 to what we have here. So the width is going to be an even 200, right? And then the height is going to be 288, right? And then 10 is the radius. So that's basically it, fully constrained. And that's just going to be the inner wall, right? And then when we pad this, it's going to be 7, right? So what we basically have, if we think about it, we have a 15 millimeter thick border all the way around, right? All the way around here. And then the inner dimension precisely matches the tablet. The outer dimension came from being 30 millimeters more than the inner dimension. And then we're going to close this. We're going to change the appearance of this guy. This is another orange piece. Cool. And then we can start detailing it. So the first thing we need to do, is put a back on it. So the back is basically going to be the same thing. So it's going to be here. We're going to create a sketch. I don't know why I flipped this around, but it's fine. We basically want to, it doesn't really matter what we do, but we definitely want to grab the center here. Let's just look at how this was done. Yeah, see, it was done from middle point to middle point, grab the center. That's kind of how a lot of these are done. So what I'm going to do is draw a guideline from the middle point to there, right? And then from this middle point, I'm going to draw the rounded rectangle from center. And it's going to be just the outer dimensions. So it was 200 and 188. Well, no, it's supposed to be 288. Let's just finish it and then redimension it. So 288. So that, my friends, is how it's done. It'll look better when it's actually down here. I think it'll be fine. Okay. So let's go back and let's start detailing this. Okay. So that that looks like it might be enough for now. And then what we want to do is, let's leave it out here. We're going to do another new body. And we're going to make this one the face front. Coolio. So the face front is going to have the face back as its binder, right? So turn off the face back. Now we've got the face back as a binder here. So we can detail the face front. We're going to create a sketch on here. We are going to grab these guys. We can grab that guy and that guy. We're going to draw another guideline from middle point to middle point. And then we're going to grab same thing, center. And this is just going to be 200 by, what was this, by the way? $220. So I basically could have just left this body the same, but I needed to make a tutorial, so it is what it is. And then that's 288 with 10-inch radius. So basically all we're doing is copying that, right? And then close it. Oh no. No, we need to decide what that inside is. So it's not going to be this line, it's going to be slightly inside. And what I'm feeling is what I'm feeling is 165. Right? The whole thing is 170. And then this needs to be 165. Or even 164. So let's do that. We'll do another, we're in the sketch. We'll do another rounded corner from center. Make sure you grab that center. 164. So that's basically 3 millimeters of grip on each side. $164. And then we'll have to use this guy. This can be a little more too. we'll just take 6 away, right? Let's do the same thing. We'll take 6 away from 258, so 252, right? And then this radius, let's just have it be 5 for now. And then we'll turn on the front. And we'll measure that. And it's 5. Cool. And honestly, we could probably make that 5 too. And then we're going to go in here. And that's done, right? What is this? That thickness has to be 10 as well. So let's just check that. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely 10. Here, we can measure. I'm just going to say it's 10. So basically click on the sketch and click pad and leave it on 10 and we're good to go. And then the front, we're going to make orange again. Cool. Let's turn off the front. Let's focus just on the back. And looks like the first thing we did was cut into here. So how did we do that? We just put a square on there and we dimension it off that top line, right? So this is all different. That's 50 and 22. Ours is going to be 38 and 55, but we can do the same thing. So basically we're going to go to the face back, turn off the front. We're going to create a sketch. We're going to create a sketch here. And we're going to start grabbing these lines, right? That one. Actually, maybe we could do this all at once. So let's do it all at once. So, yeah, it's over here. So make sure we do the regular rectangle tool. And it's just going to be 15. And then this guy, we said it's 55. So I got that by measuring the actual tablet. And then it's still got 1 degree of freedom. So we want to dimension it from here to here. And that is 38. So basically all you need to know is how big the hole needs to be for the buttons, for you to push the buttons from the side, right? We're basically we're going to add these holes. So we add a hole here, and we're going to add a hole here, and then we're going to add a big strip to the bottom. So it lets the sound out, and you can plug stuff in. Cool. So that's going to be the cutout for there. And then we said this one down here was 110. So do the same thing, just grab it there. 110, and then 15. And whatever that is, if it's over constrained, we still have the 1 degree of freedom, which is good. And then for this, all we have to do is constrain it symmetric. So grab that, and grab that, and then grab that. And then, boom. Cool. And then that's it, right? The next thing we have to do is just make sure it's deep enough, right? So if we go back to this guy, we need to find out how deep that is. And that's 12.5. And what we really need to do is measure from there to there. That's 6. And then if we turn on the face, and we measure face front, let's measure from there to there. That's 6, and from there to there, from there to there, that's 16.5, and from there to there is 8.5, and that is 4. So we'll just push it. We're going to push it 11. I'll show you why. Because this thing is 7 thick, and we basically want it to be 4 past the 7. So essentially what we're going to do is take this sketch. It's going to be a pocket. And if we made it to be 7, it would be to the end. We want it to go 4 past that, so that would be 11. Right? So both of these now are big openings, but essentially this line right here is only 4 millimeters. So it's not that big of an opening. And that's it. So we're done with that. Let's go to this guy. And it looks like we did that one at a time. So it looks like we did that one. And then we did that one down there. Why we did them one at a time, I don't know. But we did. And then we did all of those on the back. And then we filleted it. And then we did all those. And then we did that hole. So yeah, we need to do this part. This is kind of complex, but This gives us what we need to build the mount, and this is 100 by 60, and then these are 15 from the corners, and they're 4.2. So we've got 100, 60, 15, 4.2. So just remember that. And then it's 100. It's 100 from the center to the bottom. And that is because up here is where the actual piece goes. So if I were to turn that guy on, you can see that at the center here, that's where that one is mounted. So we kind of need to think about that and try to get that in the center as much as possible. So what we need to do now is basically create a sketch here. So face back. We need to create a sketch on this surface, and we need to do the guide, the square guide, right? So it was what, 60, 100, right? And then we could just take that and we can, oh, you know what we should do? Let's not do that. Let's do it from the center. So we'll do that again, but we'll click center. And then, I don't know why it just doesn't give us that line. Whatever. So we'll do 60, 100. And then we're going to just take that and put it on the line. Okay. So it's got that degree of freedom. And then basically somewhere up here, we need to extract that line just so it's from the bottom. And then we're going to need to pull in this dimension from here to here. And let's just have that be 110 for now. But basically, if I took that line and that line, and I made another guideline that was from the center to there, we would want this area right here to be on that center line. So what if I did 120, right? That's much closer. That's kind of what we want. So that this is so this is centered, right? That was 110 away. Honestly, I don't know how I came up with this. I think I just guesstimated. So let's go back into this sketch. Yeah. Let's keep it going. Okay. So now we grab that and we do all four corners. 4.2. 4. 4.2. And then we do that one. 4.2. 4.2. And then this guy, 4.2, and this guy, 4.2. Cool. Fully constrained. Perfect. Close it. Oh no, that's not it. That's not it at all. So don't do that. Yeah, just undo all that. None of those. So what you're going to do is throw these here, here. This one is actually on center, so you need to get that point right. And then somewhere over here, somewhere over here. And then boom. Cool. We missed one here. Cool, that's done. Basically all we did was the holes. So if we go to the face back, right? It was 100. We're making the same part, 100 by 60 with 15 millimeter offsets for the corners. These are centered, and the holes are 4.2. So that's what we made. We can close it. If we go back to the sketch, we can do a pocket. Now it's only 10 thick, so we can't do 10. So what I like to do is 7 here, because you need to leave at least 3 millimeters. So that's what I do. If you look at this and we hide, if we look at the neck plate, or no, not the neck plate, the back, and if I just grab one of these and measure it, it's 7. So we're good. So that's that. We're not going to detail that piece yet. We're just going to keep going here. And then the next thing we need to do is, let's see, after we did that, then we need to go to fillet. I'm going to skip that for now. I'm going to keep, I'll fillet that at the end. I want to do these ones. So let's look at this. So this is basically, you just need to make sure that these are centered. So this is 140 and 228. And then these are 20 off. These are 20 off and they're 5. So let's figure that out. And they're going to go all the way through. So we're going to create a sketch, right? So we're up here now. We're going to do face back. We're going to create a sketch on that plane. We're going to we need to get the center. So we need to extract these lines, and we need to make a guideline from the center to there, right? Yeah, that looks good. And then we're going to do a guide rectangle from center, right? And this is, I'm going to say it was 170. It's 15. So that would be 7.5. So it needs to be 15 more than 170. So 195. No, that's not right. Um, $274. That looks good. So what's this? Let's do one. The inside is 170. Oh, 185. There you go. Cool. So these are now in the center, right? In the center, in the center. So let's just do a quick calculation. We did 258, and then that's plus 15. 258 plus 15. Oh, it says 273. Yeah, 258 plus 15. Yep, that's okay. I got it. 273. So final dimensions for the holes, right? And then all we needed to do is add actual holes. So just do a hole here and have it be 5. And then a hole at the center. Again, nope. Cool. And then dimension these 20 away. Because it really all comes down to this one. That's your constraint right there. But honestly, I think it could be further. I think we could do 25. Right? Maybe even 30. Yeah, I like that better. So we're going to do these 30. Right? And all this stuff we're just making up. So it's really up to you. But I like that better. I think these are too close. Right? That gives it a nicer feel. Yeah, right? We already did that one. We need to do this one. And that works. These are the constraints right here. You can't make it too far over. And then this one is barely right there. So yeah, that's it. Fully constrained, right? See how the holes are there? Those are going to be our mounting holes. We're going to do a pocket, and we're going to have those go. Honestly, we could just do through all, because it needs to go through all. But that dimension is 17, so you could do either. Cool. So that's that. We need to start thinking about how we do that on the other side. So let's keep going though. Right? Save it. The next step for here is that hole up here. So we're going to look at that. And it looks like I did some dimensioning from here away from the inside. So basically, I'm just going to figure out where this little camera is, and luckily it's in the same spot. So it looks like we're going to put this thing .20. Yeah, this is going to be a 20 by 20 hole, and it looks like that's the same. And then, so it's 20 by 20, and we need that. Yeah, that's 6. Let's just do them both 6. Okay. So it's 20, 20, and then 2. So basically, click on that. Make sure this is here. Click on that, create sketch. Make sure you're on your face back right there. And then we're going to grab these. And then we're going to do a rounded rectangle. And just kind of throw it anywhere here. It's 20, 20, and let's do 3, right? And then we just dimension it, which is nice. From here to here, it's 6. And then from here to here, it's 6. So it's not even touching anything, but it's dimensioned from those lines. That's it. That's where the camera is. Double check that one more time. It's up in that corner. We're good. Click Pocket, click Through All, and click OK. It's a 10 millimeter thickness, but whatever. So that's that, and then save it. Let's see what the next step is here. So now we need to drill these big holes. So these are going to be our 8.5s, right? But they're going to be much thicker. So at the end, we only have 10 millimeters there, and that's 8.5. So what we're going to do is they're going to go. This one for us is going to be 7, and then that'll be 10. So I'll show you that. So basically, turn it around, and then roll up on this B. We're going to create another sketch here. And if it turns it around, it's okay. Extract these ones. Right? And then we're going to do these ones right here. Circle tool. 8.5. Right? 8.5. And yeah, that's fine. 8.5. 8.5. Oh, looks like we're messing up again. Cool. So that's done. Close it. We do a pocket. And I said we're going to do it 7. Right? And this is a little close, but it actually works because it's like, you know, all that's going to be fill anyway. So it looks a little close, but I think it's going to work. So we can keep going. Otherwise, I would have changed it, but I like it. I think we should keep it like that. And then that's pretty much it, right? We're done with that. We're done with that. If I go to the next one, the next one's just all chamfers. Chamfer, chamfer, chamfer. So we're done. I'm not going to chamfer it. We're going to chamfer it at the end. So let's go into let's go into the face front, right? Turn that off, turn that on. But we can also turn on the binder, which is literally what we were just working on. But now it's in a thing we can kind of, you know, play with. So the first thing we're going to do, this piece is really easy. All we really need to do is put the holes, right? So if I go over here and if I turn on the face front, right? And I go to yeah, we need to make these cutaways. So it's a pad. The first thing we do is a pocket. I did them individually, but we're going to do them together. So we need to make those, which I'll show you how to do that. And then we just make all these. So the only thing I need to figure out is how deep that is. So if I turn off the back and I do something like this, measure, it's 7. So again, because this is 10, we want to leave 3. 7 is kind of the default there. And that's it. And then we're gonna chamfer that one. So we don't need any measurements from here. We actually what we need to do is turn off the binder, right? Make sure we're on this side of things, drawing on this side. Click on that. Make sure this is double clicked so we're not on that anymore. Click create a sketch. Click create a sketch. I don't know what that was about. Oh no. Okay, so let's try this again. We're going to click on that. Click Create a Sketch. We're going to select... oh, this is what we do. We turn on the binder, right? We turn on the binder, and we actually turn off the pad, right? And what we want to do is we want to extract all of these. And I don't know why. You know what? We're gonna stop because I don't like where this is going. I don't like when this happens. So we're gonna redraw this. We have the binder. We didn't do much on the front part. So let's just try this again. We have the binder. And we're going to create a sketch on this layer. And that's going to involve grabbing this line and that line, right? Creating a guide from center to there, fully constrained, and then rounded corner from center. If yours worked, I'm literally just doing it again. So we said 200 and 288, right? With a 10 radius there. So that's good. And then we're going to do it again. And it's going to be what did I say? 190. It's 170 minus 6. So that's 164. Right? And then it's 258, so 252. 252. Basically it's 6 minus the inside. And then that radius is 5. So essentially you just have 3 millimeters of grip over here, holding the whole screen in. But because it's everywhere, it doesn't really matter. So that's good. That's fully constrained. And this isn't throwing any errors. It was throwing an error last time, and I don't like that because it's gonna just make the build kind of difficult. So now what we're gonna do is turn it around. If this is ever giving you problems computing, just stop and delete it and start over, because otherwise you're gonna be dealing with BS for the rest of the time. So we're gonna grab this side. We're gonna create a sketch. Right now we're sketching on the inside of the face of the front, but what we need to do is turn on this binder and turn off the pad, and then we're gonna extract these lines. But you can see how they stay there because that's exactly the surface we're drawing on, right? Even though we're drawing on the other face, not this, we're using these as the guides. So just think about that. We don't have to redraw that. So because we have all that, right, we turn that off, and now this is where we're drawing. So we go here to this guy, rectangle, and we can literally just go boom, boom, fully constrained, boom, boom, fully constrained. And then these are all going to be 4.2. So these are not going to be 5. These are going to be, go to the circle tool. these are going to be 4.2, right? And so in the face of the bot, that's where you actually put your threaded inserts, and then the bolts come from the back. So it makes it look really clean. Cool. And then, oh, shoots. These are going to be different. Yeah, this one's only going to be, we can't do all these at once. So go back into the sketch and let's keep the circles, and let's just get rid of these. So don't include these. Oh man. Just get rid of these. Cool. Still fully constrained. We're just going to do a pocket. Make sure that's 7. Save it. Right? So those are basically the holes that this thing is going to screw into. And if I turn on the face back, you can see how those perfectly align. See how concentric those are? So we know that if we throw a bolt through here, it'll end up in there. Cool? And then now we need to do the other part. So do that again. Turn off the back. Click on this face. Create a sketch. And now turn off that. Turn on the binder. And then we're going to do that again. So grab those corners. Grab those lines. And that's all we need. Turn off the binder. Turn on... Just keep it like that. And then just grab this guy from here to here. From there to there. Close it. Right? And now you can see that those are on there. And then this one is just going to be 4. So pocket, 4, enter, and we're good. And then you can see how basically this little overhang right here, it looks like this doesn't go all the way through, but it's not supposed to, because the iPad is sitting, or the tablet is sitting right there, flush up against this surface. So that's good. So that's pretty much done. Save it. And then we're going to create all of those. Fillets and chamfers. So this is pretty much done. If I go back into the face back, right? So let's open both of these. Make sure they're on their most modern versions. Yeah. So let's go on the front, on the front first, right? What is this? Probably 2. Yep. So that's good. So let's do that. We're going to do fillet. And basically just grab that one and that one. And we're lucky because sometimes those interior corners give us a little bit of a problem. And just make sure you're doing it on the same one. So we're doing the front face first. Boom. 2. Done. Right? And then face back. Do it again. Now we're on the back. Boom. 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 Cool. So that's done. Save it. And then we're just going to do all of the chamfers, right? So let's look at this guy. And let's figure out what chamfers need to be done. The face front, we have what do we got here? We got so the first one is the oh my god. So the outer side is 2. And then that's 1.5, and I guess that's probably 2. Okay, so those are 2, and that's 1.5. That's all we really need to worry about. I got the rest from here. All right, so let's go back to face front. No, we'll do face back. It's fine. Basically, we're just going to do the chamfers, right? So we're doing face back. We're going to do all of these as 2. So hit chamfer and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get rid of that face. Right? So all of those, and let's do this one. Just to kind of save ourselves time. And then we'll make sure that's 2. Hit OK. Right? Save it. So you can see that that's, yeah. That's that. And then we'll do these ones. These are all 1.5. So hit chamfer again. And we're just doing the outside. So it has a nice clean look. And we don't have any sharp edges. Right? That's 1.5. Done. Cool. And then that's actually completely done. Okay, so we're done with that. And then we can do the front, right? Let's do boom, 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 boom. And we'll do this outer edge. We'll do all of it in one go, right? 2. So that's that. And then we'll do this little guy, that guy. Up, up, out. Ugh. Cool. And then boom, 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 boom. That's 1.5. Done. Cool. And that's done. So the last video, we can do these parts next. So that's pretty much it. And these are kind of complex, you know, because this thing fits inside of that piece, and there's room. You almost can't see it, but there's room under here. You almost can't see it, but there's room. There's a millimeter here, and then there's a millimeter underneath, so that it's actually a half millimeter on each side. So let's do that in the next video, because this one's already long enough. And I'll see you then.